So you have a teenager that just finished high school. They're on their way to university. What do you buy them? Well, definitely not a Polo because they might look like me right now. But that's where we think the MG3 might be a pick. My name is Eugene. Welcome to TVEC. This is the home of extravagant reviews.
Four liters of fuel. Eugene, you're big.
Welcome to the MG3, and it is so easy. You can even hear it in my voice. I'm just so relaxed in here. Oh, that felt so good.
This weirdly has a really short shifting gearbox, which makes it so easy, as well as the clutch. The clutch is so butter smooth.
It is so buttery smooth. It's like when you take your butter knife and you spread chocolate spread on your bread.
Yeah.
And then you warm it up.
And the knife was warmed before you used it, so it was even smoother. And then, like I say, you warmed up over, so it's even smoother.
Yeah, but in here right now, it's such an easy car. For the university student that's looking for something like this, I would recommend this.
Definitely.
In the segment, I would recommend this.
Straight away off the bat, it is a slightly more pleasant, a more spacious feeling interior than something like the Polo Vivo, of which we drove.
This is more comfortable than the Vivo.
Definitely. It's got a lot of character inside.
It does, but weirdly enough, you don't see your tach, you don't see your revs.
Yeah, you can't see how far you're revving, which we'll get to more in the dynamics section.
Yeah.
And then actually speaking about the interior of the car, in terms of flat out design and quality and materials used, it is just really, really good in here.
Especially with these seats.
The seats are super comfortable. They got a really cool pattern. They are cloth seats.
Yes.
They got a little bit of orange stitching around them, which is quite cool. You'll find that as well on the soft touch sub dash. You got an actual soft touch here.
The sub dash.
This is the sub dash, because the actual dash is a scratchy plastic, or cheaper plastic, should I say, as well as the door cards.
Yeah, that is
as you can hear,
cheap materials.
But this is the base. Now, part of the door card is soft touch, which is quite nice, and so they have been quite good with the materials that they've used, especially considering this is the entry-level car.
Yeah, but I love that the breadth of this cabin isn't necessarily how the Vivo was. With the Vivo, that was just an update and you just got a screen right there.
Yes.
But in here, you can definitely tell they thought everything out with the way the infotainment system is, as well as your center gauge cluster, or I would say center screen.
Yeah, your digital gauge, screen gauge, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a cluster of anything.
Yeah, essentially.
But it feels modern.
It does.
It feels like if you are a youngster, you're 18, you're looking for your fresh out of high school student little child's first car.
Yes.
They want something with screens and tech, because we are in that modern era. And the thing with this interior is a lot of what's inside of here is in your higher scaled models of the MG3. So you don't lose out too much. I mean, the tech and infotainment and the basis of all the tech is exactly the same, which in my opinion is better than most of its competition.
Yes.
If you look at something like a Swift,
yes.
a 2025 Swift, this tech inside here is just better.
It's far
You even have a reverse camera.
Yeah, you do have a reverse camera. You don't get that in a standard Swift or a Toyota Starlet
Or a Polo. Literally.
So after that very lovely drive, we are here with the new MG3.
A new competitor for the South African market in the Group B smaller segment hatchbacks.
You know, when you said Group B, I almost thought rally for a minute.
Yes, don't think of rally cars. This is definitely not a rally car.
Yeah, no.
It has some characteristics of one, being that it's a nice manual. But it is the entry-level model for the car, and yet to fight and kill the Polo Vivo.
And the Suzuki Swift.
And the Suzuki Swift, because both are like the top-selling cars and most wanted cars, some in different ways than others, in South Africa. But this is actually the starting model. This starts at 269,900 Rand, which is an absolutely great price of entry into the market. And it goes all the way to 469,000 Rand for the HEV model.
Yeah, so there are 5 variants of this.
And overall, with that price, I think the design plays a big part on whether South Africans are actually going to want to buy the car.
I think it would be because of how this thing looks.
It looks really good. It's a beautiful car. I mean, this beautiful color, the strong, sharp, accented lights, the strong front end with the big MG badge that has become known with the HS, the ZS, and the SUVs they have. And even something like the Cyberster has the same front end design. You even have a carbon fiber front splitter.
You don't
Which
get that.
Is cool.
You don't get that on a Polo.
Yeah, you don't get that on a Polo Vivo that costs 200 grand. So that is quite amazing.
Yeah.
Now you do get a front end that looks like a catfish.
Yeah, it does.
Or like a little child doing this. So, but that's not a bad thing because it doesn't look ugly. It's just what my brain went to when I saw it.
Yeah.
Actually, in a lot of ways, I prefer this to the Polo because it's not a common repetitive design.
That's the thing. We've known that car for many years. And actually coming onto the side, these wheels are actually standard on all of the variants.
On all the variants you can get this. This is the cheapest variant, and even on the top of the range variant, you can get the same wheel, which is really nice. You don't discriminate from the normal models to the top models.
Yeah, but you also do get front standard brakes like this.
Yeah, the disc brakes.
But then at the back, you get drum discs.
You have drum.
Just like a standard Polo.
Just like you would on a standard Vivo.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. The brakes do work well, of which you would have seen already.
Yes.
Now, you do have some really strong lining once again. You got a nice arch, a strong line that runs through to the doorway, and then my favorite part of the car is actually this rear arch here that gives it this bulge and then runs actually into the rear light. And actually coming to the rear, the good looks don't end.
No, they don't.
They continue. You have this again really sharp, beautifully designed rear light. I nearly said badge. You've got the MG3 badge in there. Once again, the strong MG badging logo. Yes. Got a small diffuser.
A very, very small diffuser.
Which is quite cool looking.
Yeah.
And then obviously, just again, a lot of angles and lines. You've got this strong line here, another strong one here. You've got one that continues all the way to the front bonnet of the car. The nice arching here, the little cup off over here. It just looks good. I like to describe it as when you are drawing an actual car before it comes into production, they draw a bunch of lines and it eventually turns into a car.
Yeah.
And it feels to me that they kept a lot of those strong lines on this car.
No, you can definitely tell. But the one thing I can say is I get vibes of like i20.
i20, Corsa, like a lot more slender, sleek hatchback compared to something like a Polo Vivo. The tech in this car is actually also really, really good.
It is.
We have spoken about it just briefly, but now we actually want to go in depth a bit more with the tech that the car has.
Yeah.
Now, there's a really nice instrument cluster on the front here that you look straight at. I have one issue with this one, is that we can't seem to find where a rev counter is.
Yeah.
So if I do this, I don't know what revs I'm at.
We're just guessing.
We're just guessing by the sound of the engine at what revs we are at and when we need to shift. Speaking about the actual shifting, for now, when you're driving nice and slow and calm, it is really good. Short, we will speak about that more later on though. Now back to the actual tech. Something that I really like about it is that a bulk of this interior, like I said, is the same as the top of the range model. You get some physical buttons on the steering wheel. You get a little PlayStation play knob to change things, which is quite lacquer. The actual gauge screen here is really nicely displayed. It's good quality. You've got a lot of information on it, and it is just easy to read, small, and just good.
Yeah, the tech in here is very good.
It's very good. Again, it is a Chinese-based platform, and so the tech, for instance, on here, you've got everything. You've got your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, your Bluetooth, you've got maps, you've got everything, all the joys of the world on your actual tech and screen.
Everything you university kids want is in here. It's all in here.
And for a university student, with all of that nice tech, you'll be able to listen to your music. The speaker is actually really good.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have a little physical button system over here where you can put the volume up, down with an actual button.
Yeah, not many manufacturers do that.
Thank you, MG.
Yeah, thank you, MG. So not many manufacturers do that these days.
And then you have some physical buttons as well for your AC control, or literally you can make this star button here for your AC that if you press it, it goes straight into the AC of the car there.
Now coming to the boot space of this car, since it is a hatchback, we have to check out how practical this is. As you can see, we have our kit bag over here, and it has about this much. Now compared to a Polo Vivo, for the matter, it has about this much. But I'm pretty sure you wouldn't really care because you're not a Skotani when you're driving this car.
Again, starting us off with a bang, we are again in the MG3, and now to speak a bit about the dynamics of this car. Now, this is going to be a bit more energetic of a segment because we're going to try and keep it ramped up like you would when driving a sports rally car. Because this is what this is. It's definitely not that, guys. But speaking about some of the cool features of this car, it is a 1.5 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that gives you
81 kilowatts.
81 kilowatts and 142 newton meters of torque, and it is coupled to a 5-speed manual. Now, the nice thing about this manual is that it actually is very, very short shifting.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to use. The clutch is very light. As you can see, it's quite easy to go down. That's 5th to 3rd into 4th. It is very easy to use.
Yeah.
Now, when you are driving a bit more energetic or friskly, the steering weights up quite nicely, obviously because it is front wheel drive. And as you can see, it's quite nice to drive. It does handle quite decently, which I am very happy to tell you that it does handle itself quite nicely. It is, at the end of the day, a very light front-wheel drive hatchback. Yeah. And yeah, it's powerful enough. I do feel, however, in some instances, the Polo did feel a bit quicker.
In some instances, yeah.
In some instances, it really did. Now, this does have a roughly 6 to 7 litre per 100 kilometer
fuel economy.
Fuel economy or efficiency, whichever manner you want to say it.
Yes.
But as you can see, this is in third, and you put your foot down, and it picks up really, really nicely. I'm very pleased by that. You even have a traction control button here and a physical handbrake in case you want to be Ken Block in it.
Well, I was a bit of Ken Block right now. I was a bit of Ken Block.
And then the steering wheel, I actually have to mention, it's a really funky steering wheel. Again, you've got this hovering, looking like a Bugatti Tourbillon looking steering wheel. And like I say, if you go like this, downshift, blip, third, and you put your foot down, it's quite responsive. It drives really nicely, especially if you are putting it to its tests with the tires on the road and seeing how it handles. The car really doesn't fault too much.
Yeah, because of the size of it, it's very peppy. It's very peppy. It's a very peppy thing.
So, what are you doing after the video?
I don't know, maybe I might just go have a steak and, oh, it's the conclusion.
Oh yeah, the camera's still rolling.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Now that we are done with this lovely car,
A Cayman just went past.
a lovely Cayman just went past.
But yes, we are now at the end of the wonderful review, and it's a solid car for the money.
For the money, it really is a solid car compared to a Vivo.
Especially compared to a Vivo and a Swift.
And a Swift.
Now,
And a Starlet.
A lot of the pluses of the car actually come with the interior, the technology, the comfort on the road, how it manages the road, as well as the actual design.
Yes.
Now, I will raise one issue because on our channel, we like to be as thorough but as honest as possible. There have been some tests with regards to safety that have been of question.
Yeah.
And some other influencers who have said similar about the build quality and longevity of some of the production models. Now, the model we have tested today, though, has not given us any issues, and we couldn't fault it in any way in terms of how it is built and put together as a selling vehicle.
Yeah.
But just a disclosure that we have been told of things like that.
Yeah, we have heard. Yeah, we definitely have heard. But overall, I think I'd give this a very good 8 out of 10.
Yes, for what it is, an entry-level car at 269,000 Rand, it is just phenomenal. And once again, thank you to MG Rivonia for giving us this wonderful MG3.
Yes, if you want to see the information, click our description box below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.